Hello, my Cornerstone compadres. Today we're going to be reading a story called Taxes and Laws. And we all know how important it is to follow the law. Laws are what help make a society civilized. All right. So we're also going to be talking about taxes. And before we read the story, I want to go over, quickly show you the tax forms that you will be dealing with when you go to work. Yes, you have to fill out papers um, to do your taxes. It's a lot of work. Your parents will tell you. This first form is called. All right, let me move this over here so I can see what I'm doing. This first form is called the W-4. I don't know. You might be able to see that. Not be able to see that too well because it's probably backwards. Form W-4. Employees withholding certificate. Okay. You've got to fill out the W-4 when you first start doing a job. And we're going to be filling that out today here online. We're going to practice it, and you can practice it at home. So that's the first form you have to fill out when you're doing taxes. Okay. And then at the end of the year, or around this time, actually, about February, beginning of about around February of the new year, you have to pay taxes for the previous year. So right now, I'm going to pay taxes for 2020, but I'm going to pay them in 2021. You get this other form in the mail, and this form is called the W-2, wages and tax statement. Okay, and it comes to you all filled out. You don't have to fill out anything. There's all kinds of numbers and stuff of how much money they took out of your paycheck every week or every 2 weeks when you get it. Okay, there's all sorts of numbers there. All right, so you take this form, and then you have to, here comes the fun part, you have to fill out this form, okay, which is the 1040EZ, okay, which is a form you have to fill out for the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, so you can pay your taxes. I'm sorry, so you can either see if you get some money back from the government because you paid too much taxes. That happens a lot. You end up paying too many taxes, so they give you some back. But you have to fill out this form to get it. Okay. Sometimes you end up owing more, which is a bummer. You don't want that to happen. We'll go over that form, the 1040EZ at some other date. But right now, we're going to start by filling out the W-4. So let's say we're starting a new job. All right. You're starting a new job. Okay. First, you want to put it says to put your first name and middle initial. So my first name is Matthew. My middle initial is J. See if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't think I can. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. I gotta move over here. And then I gotta put my last name, Morola. Okay, now they want my social security number, but I'm not going to reveal that. So your social security number is always going to be um, I think it's 9 numbers, yeah. So, and they're going to be like this. So it'll be 3 numbers. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Then you put a dash. Then you put 2 numbers, then a dash, and then you put All right, so your social security number will always be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 numbers, okay, separated by dashes like this, okay. Usually they begin, I think, with an O, you know, a 0. Okay, so let's say that's my social security number. 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Address. I'm gonna put the school's address. Pretend I live there. 665 Dyer Avenue. City or town, state and zip code, Cranston, Rhode Island. 02920. Okay. Right. Okay, so I don't think any of you guys are married. So, if you're not married, okay, you're not filing your taxes with anybody else, right? And if you're not head of the household, which you're probably not right now, your parents probably are, or your caregivers, all right, you would put single, all right? Then you go down to step 2, complete multiple jobs or spouse works. Okay, well, yeah, if you have, all right, we're going to skip this part because you're probably not going to have to worry about this. Or at least we're not going to worry about it right now. Step 3, claim dependents. All right, this is the important part, okay? All right. If you have children or a partner who doesn't work, you know, like a wife or a partner or whatever, wife, husband, partner, whatever, you can claim dependents. Okay. So since you guys probably don't have any dependents, okay, you want to put 0 because then they will take the most taxes out of your check. Now that may sound like not too cool. They're going to take the most money out of my check, you know, but you're going to get some back at the end of the year. So it's like having a savings account. Okay. So other income not from jobs, deductions, extra withholdings. You don't have to put anything with this. Okay. All right. And then, all right, you just put 0, 0, 0, and 0. Okay. So they're just extra withholdings. You don't need them to take anything extra. Okay. So that's 0. Deductions. If you expect to claim deductions other than standard deduction and want to reduce your withholding, use deductions worksheet. All right, so you guys probably won't have to worry about any of the deductions or anything. Other income, okay. If you want tax withheld from other income you expect this year, all right, like say you have a DJ service or something and you get money for that, like, and they pay you in cash, you know, you could claim other income. But let's not worry about that. Okay, so basically I have no children, not claiming any other deductions, so you're just going to claim 0. You could claim 1 for yourself, okay? You could type in a 1, but you don't want to do that because then they're going to take less taxes. You'll get more tax money in your paycheck every week, but at the end of the year, you might get hit with a bill saying you owe more money at the end of the year, and you don't want that. Okay, so then you have to sign it, which you can't do, but you would just write your name on the line, just write it on, employee signature. You basically fill this out for your boss before you can start work. And I can't type in the date either, okay? You'd have to write in the date. So if I was going to sign it today, I'd sign it Matt Marola. And then I would write 2/9/21. So that's how you fill out the W-4. Now you can. I sent your parents. I sent you the link, so you can practice filling this out online yourself. But your parents or caregivers can help you, and maybe they can explain it to you in more depth than I have. So good luck. And now on to the story. Okay, my Cornerstone Cats. So we're going to be talking about taxes and the laws. That's today's story. And we just went over how to fill out. We just went over the tax forms here in the United States and how to fill out the W-4. Okay, so let's see. Let's go over the vocabulary words. Okay, tax. All right. So tax is money you have to give to the government, either the federal government or the state government. Your state, in this case, would be Rhode Island or maybe Connecticut for one of my students. Okay. And you also pay tax on services, like, when you go to the store. Excuse me. Ugh, sorry. When you go to the store, you have to pay a tax on whatever you buy. I think it's like 7%, something like that. And you, of course, pay with money. But say you were buying something. Okay, again, say you were buying something in Rhode Island that was like a dollar. Like you went to the Dollar Tree to buy something for $1. You're not just going to pay $1. You're going to pay $1.07. Okay, because 7 cents is 7% of $1. 7% of 100 cents is 7 cents. Okay, so that's taxes for you. Gotta love it. All right. Let's see what the other words that are probably in this story. Sugar. Yep, they put a tax on sugar. They put a tax on goods, like things you buy in the store. Again, we're talking about our friends over in Great Britain. Let's see. Oh, yes, of course, we're talking about the law. And there's a law in this country that says you have to pay taxes. There was a law in Great Britain back then that said you had to pay taxes too. And back then, you had to pay the taxes to the king. Now we pay it to the United States government here in the United States. Sometimes people get mad about how much taxes they have to pay. It's just the way it is. I don't think there's a tax on food in the grocery store because that's considered an essential thing that you need. But there's probably a tax on paper goods now as it was back then. And I think they taxed the tea also. A lot of colonists back in the 1700s, many yesterdays ago, used to like to drink tea. And so, since they like to drink tea, the King of England put a tax on tea, which made the colonists mad. Anyways, let's go back to... there's a bad word right here. Kill. People do get killed in wars, and it's very sad. Dump. When you dump something out, you could take the trash to the dump. Hurt. That's another bad word. No one wants to get hurt. No one wants to hurt somebody else, hopefully. All right. Sometimes you do get hurt, though. People do get hurt in wars, which unfortunately happen. Fair. Okay, you want to be fair. All right. If, you know, you want to treat someone the way that you would have them treat you. That's fair. You don't want to fight. Unfortunately, throughout history, there have been people fighting in wars and stuff. Alrighty. Soldier. Okay, you can tell by the helmet and the salute and the backpack. Give. It is nice to give things to somebody. It makes you feel good. Okay. Pay. Alright, when you buy something, you buy this block, you need to pay with money or a debit card or a check or a credit card. And we use the debit card in class when we use the small debit card bank that we have. Extra, when you have a little extra, like if all the box is filled up with squares and you have some extra squares that won't fit in the box. Okay, and of course colonists, we will be talking about the colonists again. Alrighty, is there anything else? Let's see. Close. Well, when something is closed, like a business is closed, like you want to go to like the grocery store on a holiday, like Christmas Day or something, it might be closed. Sometimes a lot of businesses have had to close because of COVID-19. Yep, close is not always a good thing. Okay, so more. Over here you have more squares than over here. So more squares are right here. All right. Okay, taxes and laws. Okay, you can see that there are coins here in the picture. Name of the story is Taxes and Laws. And this is the symbol for pounds. Okay, what is a pound? Okay, this is a United States $1 bill, which I'm sure you've seen, which we use in class. Okay, when we're doing using our debit card for banking. Okay, but this is what the British use, the United Kingdom. They use the pound note, which is somewhat like the dollar, except that instead of George Washington on it, it has the Queen of England, which I don't know if you can see. Hold on. There she is, the Queen of England. This is a younger picture of her. She's quite an old woman now, in her 90s, I think. All right, and it says £1 on it. So they use pound notes and we use dollars. So they used pounds back then, and when we were a colony of Great Britain, we had to pay in pounds also, not dollars. Okay, the King of Great Britain wanted a way to make the colonists pay for the war. He made the colonists pay taxes on many things. A tax is extra money paid when buying goods. Like I said, if you buy something at the Dollar Tree and it's $1, you're going to pay 7 cents extra in tax. And when we talk about king, at the time, we're talking about King George again. All right. The colonists did not get to vote on taxes. All right. They couldn't send anybody from the colonies over to England to vote on how much taxes they would pay. That's called taxation without representation. Okay, the king made the Sugar Act. Okay, this was a tax on a kind of sugar many colonists called molasses. It's kind of like syrup, like you put on your pancakes. The king made colonists buy some goods, like molasses, only from Great Britain. This made the colonists mad. So you can see over here an angry colonist again. He didn't want to pay extra money for his sugar, okay, his molasses. Okay, and here's the angry colonist and the angry English soldier, the redcoat. The king told the colonists that they must provide homes and food for British soldiers. We talked about that before. It's written into our Constitution, our set of laws, that you don't have to do that. Okay? If there are soldiers hanging around where you live, you don't have to let them stay at your house. Okay, so this letting the soldiers stay in the houses of the colonists was called quartering act. Soldiers could stay in forts, houses, and barns if necessary. The colonists had to feed them too. The colonists did not like this law. Okay. The Stamp Act was made by the King of Great Britain. Again, we're talking about our old pal, King George, who, in an indirect way, helped the United States come into being. The Stamp Act made all paper goods cost more. This included newspapers, legal papers, and playing cards. All right, so say you were playing cards and you bought a deck of cards to play cards with. All right, like Go Fish or War or Uno or whatever. The king would make when you bought it from the store, the person who sold it to you would have to take a stamp and put a stamp on it. Like the stamps that we use in class, and you'd pay extra for the stamp. Who even wants the stamp? That's kind of how the colonists felt at the time. Why am I paying for something I don't want? The colonists did not think the taxes were fair. You can see that the colonist is angry again here. Some colonists formed a group called the Sons of Liberty. This group protested the King of Great Britain and the taxes he put on colonists. Very interesting. So they put a stamp on newspapers and playing cards. Lame. Okay. There was a fight one night between some colonists and some British soldiers. It was known as the Boston Massacre. And Boston isn't very far from here. It's in Massachusetts. You've probably been there. The colonists threw sticks and snowballs at the soldiers. The fighting kept on going until one of the soldiers got hurt and killed. Oh, I'm sorry, until some of the soldiers hurt or killed 5 colonists. This made the colonists angry. See the snowballs being thrown? All the colonists were doing was throwing snowballs and sticks. And then the English soldiers pulled out their guns and shot them. This made the colonists angry at the British king. Dun, 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 not good. The king made another law called the Tea Act. He told the colonists they could only buy tea from one company. He also put a very high tax on tea. The colonists were very mad. They tried to send the tea back to Great Britain, but they couldn't. Okay, so let's say you bought a small box of tea bags from the Dollar Tree for $1, and you're paying 7 cents in sales tax. Let's say our government raised that sales tax to 40%. So you'd be paying $1.40, or let's say they raised it to 100%. Instead of paying $1, you'd be paying $2. That would make you angry, wouldn't it? Make me angry. Okay, so they taxed the tea, and they pretty much had to, pay the tax if they wanted the tea. People didn't drink a lot of water back then because they thought it was bad for you. They thought it was contaminated. So they drank tea because they boiled the water for the tea. So it was kind of necessary to drink tea if you wanted to get liquids, you know. So they were angry about the tea tax. They couldn't send the tea back. This caused the Boston Tea Party. It was not a real party. Colonists went to the port in Boston. They went onto British trading ships carrying the tea. They dumped the tea into the ocean. They dumped over $1 million of tea, which would probably be worth a lot more today. Okay. So you can see all the big crates of tea, holding tea, being dumped off the old-fashioned ship into the water. The King of Great Britain was angry about the Boston Tea Party. He closed the port where the tea was dumped. The colonists used the port to buy and sell goods. See, the soldiers are there looking angry, stopping people from getting on the ships and using the port. Yeah, and then the colonists used the port to buy and sell goods. This hurt all the colonists who lived there, not just the ones who dumped the tea. More and more colonists grew angry at the king. You know? You know? All right, so here we have a timeline. Again, all this stuff happened. The Boston Tea Party, the taxation, it all happened many yesterdays ago. Long time ago, before your parents or grandparents were born. Okay, April 1764. The King of Great Britain made the Sugar Act. March of 1765. The King of Great Britain made the Stamp Act. Okay, so 1 year later, he made the Stamp Act. March 1765, the King of Great Britain made the Quartering Act. Keep the soldiers in your houses and feed them. March 1770, 5 colonists died in the Boston Massacre. Oop, not good. May 1773, the King of Great Britain made the Tea Act. Got to pay high taxes on tea, and you have to buy Great Britain's tea. December 1773, the colonists threw tea into the ocean in the Boston Tea Party. Okay, let's see what we learned from this story. What we remember. The king made the colonists pay what? What did he make them pay? Did he make them pay... Oops. Did he make them pay the soldiers? No, he made them feed the soldiers and give them a place to sleep. I love the way it zooms out and disappears. Did he make them pay paper goods? No. Did the king make them pay taxes? Yes, he did. The box is green. That means it's correct. The colonists had to give the what? Food. Who do they have to give food to? Who do those poor American colonists have to give food to? Paper goods? Give food to the ocean? No. Give food to the soldiers? You bet. So the colonists probably didn't have a lot of food to begin with, you know, and having to give it to the soldiers just because the soldiers were hungry, and they didn't even want the soldiers there to begin with. The king put a tax on all what? What did he put a tax on? Yep, you guessed it, on all paper goods. Playing cards, newspapers, magazines, whatever. I don't think they had magazines back then, but they did have playing cards and newspapers. Not Uno, though. The colonists were not going to follow the what? So what were they not going to follow? They weren't going to follow the soldiers. They weren't going to follow the paper goods. Nah. They weren't going to follow the taxes. Well, they weren't going to pay the taxes. They weren't going to follow the laws. All right. The colonists dumped tea into the what? Where did they dump the tea? Because they were angry about paying taxes on tea. You guessed it. They dumped the tea into the ocean. Okay, multiple choice. Let's choose. Let's pick one. Let's make a choice. Okay, what is this chapter about? Is it about war? Is it about land? Is it about taxes? It's about taxes. Who did the colonists have to give food to? The animals? Yeah, they had to give, if they were farmers, they had to give food to their animals. I'm sure they didn't mind that too much. The king? No, the king had everything he needed. They had to give food to those soldiers that they didn't even want to have there in the first place. What did the king put on a tax on? A tax on houses? You do have to pay taxes on your house, but that's a story for another time. A lesson for another time. Did he put a tax on horses? No. He did put a tax on paper goods, right? Where did the colonists dump the tea? In a field? In a house? That'd be awful messy, huh? In the ocean? They dumped the tea off into the ocean, the Boston Tea Party. What is important to know about this chapter? Colonists liked the new laws? No, they did not like the new laws. The colonists did not read newspapers. Well, some of them did and some of them didn't. The colonists were not going to follow the laws. No, they were not going to follow the laws. Thank you, Ms. Computer. Okay, that's it for this story, Cornerstone friends. Thanks for participating. And next comes the song. Okay, my Cornerstone compadres, here's the song. Now let me tell you how it will be. That's 1 for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. Should 5% appear too small? Be thankful I don't take it all. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. If you drive a car, I'll tax the street. If you try to sit, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet. Tax man. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. Don't ask me what I want it for. Tax man, Mr. Wilson. If you don't want to pay some more, tax man. Ah, yeah, I'm the tax man. 'Cause I'm the tax man.